Testing 1, 2, 3. Can anybody hear us?
Okay, can anybody hear us, see us? I don't understand. What in the world is going on with Streamlabs?
Don't know, but man, oh man, yep, there they are. Yep. Oh, y'all. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what's going on with YouTube and Streamlabs anymore.
Don't know what the dealio is on that. But
So
I guess we're just gonna have to watch from there. For right now. Okay, so everybody can hear us. It says very low volume. Turn your mic. What the crap did you just do?
I don't know.
So we apologize, y'all. We came out here to set everything up, and Streamlabs like totally redid something since
Robin
last
come
week.
out here pushing buttons.
No, that's not what happened. Whatever, you can blame it on me all you want.
Let's push it buttons.
Mister putting the green screen.
I had to do the
and not
superhero
fixing it.
thing. I had to do the superhero thing.
I know, but you could have done the superhero thing and cleaned it up after you were done too.
That's not my thing.
That's not my thing.
Okay, so
I have no idea what that's doing. But has anybody else had some issues with Streamlabs? Anybody else here use Streamlabs? I'm just curious. So it's just weird. For some reason, we can't access it through YouTube to be able to read like the comments and stuff. So anyway, now I look like fun.
okay, can you pull it up on your phone where we show
Yes,
us?
but let's do this real quick first because people.
I've already done that.
Oh.
That's all the way up.
Okay.
Okay.
When I pull it on my phone, let's look and see there. Yes.
Okay, so people can see us.
Yep.
Okay.
But I think the reason why this is like this is I don't think you set a thumbnail. But I don't know how that would do anything with the with the actual
With it
chatting
being
part.
live. But
Yeah, but there's the reason why it's black like that is because there's no thumbnail. So, well, let's not do this. All right, so who all do we have in here while he's clicking a few buttons? Let's see. We've got a lot of new people in here. Welcome to our live stream. I promise it's not always like this. We usually try to have a little commercial at the front end while we're doing all this stuff in the background, but we got a little sideways with time, and with the green screen really messed me up. I had everything ready to go and then I loaded it up in there. And see, that's the problem with the GoPro. When you have the GoPro, you don't have that little screen that shows you what you're filming. So I was like, I loaded it up and I looked at it and I went, oh, there's green by me.
How'd that go again?
So,
Really?
one more time. So anyway, we normally have our stuff together just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
No, we don't. She is pulling y'all's legs. She is pulling y'all's
Okay,
leg.
Geeky Garden says, I turned my speakers up a bit. Please do not blast them out.
No, I'm not gonna do
Be
that tonight.
nice.
I myself have a terrible headache.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So
It's been a very stressful day today.
But we do want to hold on, let me turn this off because this thing.
Sue Baxter, hi from Ohio. You know what? Just for a second, I want to go back up to some of these names, y'all. Hold on here. So we've got two families in the house. Farmer Me Mom, Mark Krieger, Mimsy, Anna over there at Mimsy's Garden. April, what's up? Hidden Within Myself. Let's see. Heather's in here. Hello, Heather Russo. Mama Z. Loma Acres, nice to see you. What's up? Deborah Bryan, that's a new one. Welcome. UP Gardening Adventure, welcome back. Claybank Homestead. Hello, hello. Geeky Gardens. Ben's Over Acres. Hello. Grammy Karen, what's up? Let's see. D from Naturally NC is in here. Who else? Who else am I seeing? Anita, what's up? I was thinking about you today. I was thinking about making some taco Pop-Tarts. Sue Baxter from Ohio. Linda Jacobs, hello, hello. I think we're just about caught up. Catty Wampus, hello. All right. I think I got everybody. Deborah Bryan, you're from Texas. Okay. Hello. So, today started very early. Today we had to be in a car super early this morning. Because we had to add somebody new to the homestead.
That's one of the things that's wrong.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but I wasn't gonna say anything. Let's see.
So, we have a new member of the family.
Yes, we do.
And...
Oh, you can see her just a little bit.
Just a little bit right there.
Just a little bit.
Hello, Big Bear Nation. We want to introduce you to the one, the only, Lagatha.
Lagatha.
Say hello, Lagatha.
Kimberly Williams, what's up?
Close up time.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but this dog absolutely loves to see herself in any kind of, like, we've been playing around with taking pictures with her in video today, and she absolutely loves.
She's a ham.
She, like, looks at herself, and she poses for the camera. So she is, Wakatomika, what's up? Hello. Let's see. I also saw another name. Hackett's Healing Hollow. Hello. Welcome this evening. So that is Lagatha. We've been waiting for a while. We're going to put out a full video on Lagatha and our whole trip over the last 6 months of everything that's gone on concerning Rottweilers in this homestead. And now I can't pronounce his wife's name. I know she has told me before, but I did so good to do Wakatomika, so she's gonna have to tell me again. But that's Jeremy's wife. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they have been very helpful over the last several weeks. If you haven't checked out Wakatomika Homestead, Jeremy and his wife are, you see how I did that? I can kind of brush over, are very, very nice people. They're actually in Ohio, and they're so G's, is it Isla or Gisila? I don't know.
You'll
Maybe.
Just be Jeremy's wife to me.
Lone Star Living, what's up? So she is she's very crafty as well. She makes at least she did a couple years ago. I don't want to put too much on her if she doesn't do it anymore. But she used to make these absolutely cute wooden signs that were very cheeky, and I absolutely loved them. And they're just very, very nice people. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to after a live stream or something. You're just gonna have to tell me. I know I'm gonna butcher it. Gisala, I don't know. It's a beautiful name, just seeing it written, but I don't want to butcher it. So Once again, they're an awesome couple. They have some girls too, don't they? A couple of girls. They have some children that like to hang out and talk with our children. So, but definitely, if you haven't checked them out, they're actually raising some hogs as well, and they just had one that had some babies. So I've been kind of stalking his stuff because he's trying a different way of doing a farrowing board, and so I'm pretty excited to see that. Buckeye Girl 1. I wonder where Buckeye Girl 1 is from.
The Buckeye State.
Probably the Buckeye State. No kids here. I thought y'all had kids. Oh. You had helpers then with you. I thought those were your children. I'm sorry. Just niece and nephews. Okay. I thought there were children there with y'all that were helping. Were there not? It's been 2 years, so I know that's not really an excuse, but I thought there were children running around that were over there with them. So I guess maybe with the way we were all set up is it was like our table and then another table and another, and it was very kind of close together, so it might have just been a whole bunch of kids running around together. So are you comfortable? So she is quite a character already. We've already learned so much about you.
Her little personality is all over the place.
Yes, she's all over the place. The niece, that's what it was. Okay.
She grabbed, like, Two Family sent us a bunch of puppy toys. And so, at first, it was this squirrel. Excuse me. She did not like the squirrel.
No.
Her and that squirrel did not get along. And
well,
of course, it didn't help that you were teasing her. And every time she'd go to bite on the squirrel, you'd hit the squeaky thing and it would scare her.
She did not like the squeaky thing. Like, I would hit the squeaky thing and she would be like, what is that? She did not. You didn't like it, did you?
And then you're going to be all mad when she poops in your shoes.
You didn't like that, did you? No.
And let's see. And then we got the hold of the Grinch that has like a plastic bottle in it or something that makes a crunchy noise.
Oh.
And she absolutely went crazy.
Oh, do you like that one?
Oh, she loves that one. She grabs it and she shakes it and she makes it go crunchy and she runs across the floor with it. And then because it's bigger than she is, she trips on it.
Sally from Hong Kong. Hello. Welcome.
Hey, Sally.
Good morning. Gossmania. Hello. Hello.
And so that's what we were doing before we had the panic at the goat house.
We've had a panic at everything today because we also got a phone call that a cow was out. And it was so funny because our neighbor she'll just message Jason and be like, hey, there's a black cow in our backyard. It might be yours. So we sent Ladessa to go check on it. And Ladessa's gotten in the habit of before she even gets into the pasture, she starts calling them.
Yeah, because that's what I told him to do, because when we bring them hay and feed in the morning right now, because all the grasses are pretty much dead for the next couple weeks, we have to supplement with hay and a little bit of feed.
Right.
And I won't just put a round bale out there. Yes, that would be easier. And they could free feed, but they'll destroy it.
They make a mess out of it.
You have a lot of waste.
I know, a lot of waste. That's right. So yeah, we choose.
You seriously crossing your paws.
Her mama does that. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my phone, sorry. So Ladessa started walking down the dam and she started hollering them for them. So what ends up happening, look who's in the chat there. Did you ever you sent them pictures, did you?
I sent Jeremiah pictures and I sent Jess a polo. But I don't think Jess got the polo.
Oh, stop messing with you're gonna mess up the computer, little one.
So this is her.
So yeah, so we So Ladessa started
such a handful.
Ladessa started calling the cows, and we just had her get on the radio and tell us how many she had. And she was like, I've only got 7. And then she's like, oh, wait, hold on. I got 8. Well, I think what happened is one of our black cows was in her back pasture. And when Carol started, or when Ladessa started calling her name, or his name, I think he came boogity back because he associated that with getting hay and getting feed. So we went back there, and Carol, Ladessa, and I fixed all of the fencing that was back there.
I'll give you some.
And did that.
Here you go, puppy breath.
So TJ said he missed her name. Her name is Lagatha.
Lagatha.
Yeah, Lagatha. Yes, puppy breath. We have definitely had our share of puppy breath today.
Puppy breath, puppy.
Excuse me.
Puppy growls, puppy teeth.
Yeah, all of that fun stuff.
All of that stuff. She has not gone in the house yet. She has
pee. She hasn't gone in the She hasn't gone to the bathroom in the house, is what he's saying.
She's been able, because we pretty much when we watch her, when she drinks or eats something, we wait about 15 minutes and then we take her outside.
Yeah.
She then she goes outside and we praise her.
Yep.
So that's how we did Apollo. So that's how we're going to do her. And hopefully...
She seems to be picking up her name.
Yeah, she seems to be picking it up, don't you?
Yeah, she seems to be picking up her name. She hasn't had any issues with the food yet. So, whoa. What did she just do?
She just jumped onto the desk.
Oh, don't do that.
She is a techno junkie.
Yep. She does not like sharing Jason's attention with a phone. Jason's been trying to show her off by pictures on the phone, and she'll paw it. Yep, she gets right in front of the phone. Oh. That piece of paper made noise, Daddy. Thor Haven Farm, what's up? Hope everyone is well and weather is getting better for y'all down south. Yeah, it's actually been pretty good, so look at that. It's like she knows. She's like, I gotta look at the camera. No, she's right here next to, there's a piece of paper right here, and she's got her paw on it. She's trying to figure out. You know that's called a mouse. That's not a puppy pie.
Look who is here. Jennifer Flanagan.
Well, hello, Jennifer Flanagan. What's up? That is a blast from our past.
Way in the past.
She used to live right down the street from us when we lived in Augusta.
Our second
the Augusta
homestead.
area. Yeah. So, go back to Daddy.
Come here.
Go back to Daddy. She probably has to go. Did you take her potty?
Mm-hmm.
She's literally right in front of the mic, like trying to chew on the mic. Keto Homestead with Jess. Hello. Yeah, she is. Is she getting along with everyone? How does she feel about the chickens and the goats? So, go ahead and answer that, because I saw you, so I'll let you answer.
Well, we have not introduced them yet. She is only 6 weeks and 2 days old.
Yeah, she's very young.
So, I'm not letting her wander too far around the homestead yet. We literally keep her in Robin's Tetris garden area for right now. I mean, we've only really had her home
that's what I was gonna say. Like for
a couple of hours.
Yeah, she's only been like actually physically on the homestead for maybe like 3 or 4 hours, because we went out for dinner this afternoon for Carol. Carol's birthday was this past week,
and she's asleep.
And so we took her out to dinner, and we took Lagatha with us. Mm-hmm. So she didn't stay at home alone, so how big will she be full grown? Well,
she'll probably top out to about 120 pounds, maybe.
Yeah. We got to see her parents. Her dad is a fairly large dog. And mom she's not obviously as big as dad, but she's pretty big too. So she may be 120, 130, just kind of depend. Raven Cat, hello. That's Cecilia. Wanderlust, what's up? Y'all need to come visit, or we need to go visit them.
Well, no, it's our turn to go up there.
Yeah,
we need to go visit them. So how we're gonna go about doing it, and we're gonna bring you guys along when we do it. Before I start introducing her to chickens, ducks, geese, goats, cows, pigs, piglets, the whole nine.
Everybody, yeah.
I want to make sure she knows her name.
Yeah.
She's obedient to some specific commands.
Mm-hmm.
And probably walking on a leash, because when I first take her around, I'm going to have her on a leash.
Yeah.
So we probably got about a month or so of some training before she gets to be able to be fully introduced to goats, chickens, stuff like that.
Right. Now we will have chicks come in here eventually, and so we'll have to introduce her to little baby birds too. And so the idea is that we're going to capture all of that stuff, and we will be showing those on videos. So you'll be able to get like a little highlight of how she's adapting to being on the homestead and all the different animals that we have. So yeah, it's just amazing how they go from cute little pups to a big mass. Yeah, we were joking about that this afternoon.
Well,
now
she has grown. When we went and picked her out a week ago, she has grown from.
She's almost doubled in size. Like,
I don't know about double in size, but
she's much bigger.
Yeah.
So.
But.
Yeah. And that's partially because, like, the breeder was telling us she had already stopped. You should be able to fold it down, but she had stopped nursing, and she's now pretty much on food. So, so they start packing on the pounds after that. Mary S., hello. I have to have a puppy. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this breeder that we have, she is absolutely a joy. Odin loves our Highland cows, though. Gosh, Jason wants Highland cows so bad. Yeah. Let's see. What is with the dessert cup? What dessert cup? Oh, that's a tip jar, I think.
Yeah. With Streamlabs OBS, when people do super chats or when we get the membership thing up, and if they join, it'll come across the screen.
And then it falls.
And you should get some type of a dancing bear up there, but I don't know with the way Streamlabs kind of sidewayed us this week. But that's supposed to be kind of like a tip jar.
Kind of thing. I'm so happy y'all finally have her. We are too.
Are we.
I'm just nervous about tonight. I have a bad feeling we're not going to sleep much tonight.
I think we'll be fine.
That was one of the things the breeder said. She's like, now remember, she's been in a...
Yeah, but I don't think, with the way that she's doing right now, I think she's had a long, interesting day, and I think she's worn out.
Well...
And I think...
We're going to cross our fingers and hope that she sleeps.
She's just going to sleep. I'm just going to not let her sleep too much while we're on the live.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what our afternoon has come up to. Oh, see. So Misty's like, gotta see how this does.
Yep. Let's see if it does it.
It should. It should have some kind of... It'll be a second, but... There's a little bit of a lag. Oh, look at you, Daddy. There we go.
There you go. Boom.
Oh, but I don't see the... Oh, yeah. So watch. Right here. Tipped $2 through Super Chat. Now watch. Goes doop, 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 doop. There you go.
And
How cool is that?
Okay. Lay down, girl. Lay down. Just lay down.
She's like, no. One thing we have noticed is she is definitely
a Rottweiler.
She's
definitely got the Rottweiler hard-headed.
She's very hard-headed. The whole time we were on our way home, we both had sweet tea, and she kept trying to get the sweet tea. It was funny. So, all right, Lagatha, you've hijacked half of our show, so get a wind-up alarm clock for the tick-tick-tick-tick.
Well, it kind of...
like a heartbeat.
Yeah, it stimulates kind of like
Well, I'll tell you one thing that we saw that was interesting. We didn't get it on film, so I will tell you about it. If we get it on film again, we'll just put it in the video later. But one of the things that I thought was super interesting is today Jason was walking her around what he calls my Tetris garden, and she walked up to the grill that we have. We have one of those, like the black barrel, smoker grill or whatever, and she walked up underneath it.
Turn the alarm off and on and get one of the girls to come
and stood on the grill or the grate that's on the bottom and looked up at the barrel.
Come here.
And was looking up, and Jason started giggling. I said, "What is so funny?" He said, "She's literally licking her lips." He's like, "I think she thinks that that's mom." And I was like, are you serious right now? And she was just whining, and she was looking up at it, and she was just licking, and we were like, "Baby girl, that's not mom." So, and then she, after about like maybe 10 or 15 seconds, she figured out that
she left it alone.
Yeah. And then she never went back to it. That's why I don't think she'll do it again. I think she's figured it out, but yeah. So, all right.
So we have a lot of new faces.
We do.
In here. Not a lot of new names in here tonight. And a lot of y'all came over from the hollers. And we very much appreciate it. We love the hollers.
We do. We love Ben and Meg there.
And I just want to kind of make one little thing clear. He said one thing in his video about
Grandpa's farm. What's that?
Shenanigans. About coming down to Big Bear Homestead and all of his shenanigans. He's not shenanigan free. Ben does a lot of shenanigans too.
Yes. So Roots and Refuge says, reminds me of the Are You My Mother kids book. Absolutely. Like, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Can imagine what she'd think if she saw one of the black cows. Yeah, one of the black cows. That's true too. Just have Jason put on a black shirt. She start trying to nurse you, Jason. That would be a problem. So you have Lagatha and the haircut. So you have to come visit Odin, our Basset, and Freya, one of our Highland cows. That's awesome. So we're planning on eventually doing some breeding ourselves. And the dogs, not us.
No, we're done.
But we are actually going to have a male, and we're going to name him Ragnar, which I think is going to be really cool.
And it's Jeremiah's fault.
It's all Jeremiah's fault.
He introduced me to the show.
Yep. So, Grandpa's farm, man, I am so glad to see you. That's awesome.
But like I was saying, a lot of y'all came over from the hollers, and we kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a who is Jason and Robin, who is Big Bear Homestead here tonight. Robin and I have been married for 15 years. It'll be 16 this November. I married way up the food chain.
I'm like having some serious wardrobe malfunctions here. Anyway, sorry. Squirrel. Yes, 16 years this fall.
16 years. And like I said, I married up. Robin, you graduated from... What did I say that you're already laughing at me about?
And that you married up.
I did. Robin is super smart. Okay? Robin...
Blame Jeremiah. It always works for me.
Robin graduated from the University of Arkansas with a double major 3.875 GPA. That's why I say married up.
I don't know, though. When you were in school just a little while ago, your GPA got pretty close.
Wow. We're just going to dig. You got close.
You were almost
but you weren't a double major and had a 3.875.
No. And it's hilarious that he could actually rattle that number off, because that just tells you how many times I've said it, that he's got that committed to memory. 3.875.
Well, no, the whole time I was going to school, I was like, I gotta beat a 3.875.
Yeah. It was actually quite comical. He would always check his GPA, and he'd be like, I'm coming for you, Robin. I'm coming for it. I'm going to get it.
But truth be told, Robin had to help me with my English, and it was the only class I got a B in. So I think there was some
my gosh, you are not going
sabotage.
there.
It's personal sabotage. She sabotaged my GPA right there. Can't prove it, but it may have just happened. No. You can't prove that it didn't. It's like it's like Area 51.
There's a reason you can't prove it.
You can't prove that the aliens are there, but they really won't prove that they're not there.
Yeah.
So we started on a little 1/4 acre neighborhood HOA. No. That's how we learned about HOAs.
No, it was no HOA.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, you're talking about like...
Yeah, I'm talking about
when we first started.
Started. Mm-hmm. And we had a little small garden that we didn't even get to see come to fruition, because that's when we learned about HOAs. Mm-hmm. And I think I was doing nuisance wildlife work at the time, and I was the first company to remove honeybees alive from buildings, walls, trees.
And actually relocate them.
And actually being successful at relocating them in the state of Georgia. And so we had one honeybee hive back there too. And that's when we learned about the power of the HOA, because we were renting. Mm-hmm. And so we got out of there and moved. Basically did a rent to own for the little place in the ghetto.
And that was a 1/2 acre.
Yeah.
So.
And some of our entertainment was literally watching. I'm not making this up. We could sit in our little sunroom and watch people stealing other folks' TVs down the streets. So that's
walk down our street carrying TVs and stuff.
Yeah. And so we got a couple of dogs, but we had a very successful
a great garden. That was kind of what set the hook. We had that great garden, and then we started with quail.
Started with quail because we that's at that same time period we decided, thanks to the awesomeness of the Richmond County school system, we decided to homeschool our children.
Yes.
Now, this was way back in the day, y'all. This was, YouTube was still a baby. There was no real Homesteaders.
Actually, at that point, there wasn't. I don't even think YouTube was up yet when we started homeschooling Blaze.
Yeah, I don't think YouTube was a thing yet. Yeah, you're right. And so we did a homeschool science project where we found an upright freezer on the side of the road, and we turned it into an incubator. Mm-hmm.
And actually, that Jennifer Flanagan that was in here earlier, I don't know if she's still in here, but Dylan Flanagan, who's I believe is her ex-husband. He gave us 12 quail eggs.
Coturnix quail eggs. Mm-hmm. And Blaze successfully hatched them all. Now, Blaze is our older son who is no longer at home. He is serving this great nation. He followed in his grandpa's and my footsteps. He is a United States Marine.
Mm-hmm. We're very proud of him.
And he's a real Marine. He went to Paris Island.
He's only in California now. He didn't start there.
He's in California now at one of his MOS schools. Mm-hmm. then we have two other children. We have Carol Ann and Ladessa. Carol is 15. Ladessa is getting ready to be 14.
She just turned 13 in October.
She's getting ready to be 14. So back to Blaze, and he successfully hatched out all 12 of those things. Well, long story short, I came home from doing some nuisance beaver work or bats or something, and there was a noise in our carport. And I went in there, and this boy had a system where he had like this flow chart thing in the back where he knew which row or which shelf in the freezer was when they
he
were
knew
hatching.
when they needed to hatch, go into the hatching tray.
And I mean, he had this huge system. We went from 12 to like 200-300 quail.
He had like a wall calendar, and it was back behind the tarp, so you couldn't see it. So he had to pull the tarp away, so we never saw that. And we had a tarp over the carport so that it didn't have a draft. So we never saw him. It was Blaze's responsibility to take care of him. We were providing the feed, but he had to do everything else to keep up with him.
And so I went out there, and I was like, holy smokes.
How many quail are in here?
And so I went back to Dylan, and I said, I got like 300 quail. What should I do with them? He was like, sell them. And so back in the day, they had the thing in Georgia. It was called the I Wanna. It was a free magazine, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was basically like Craigslist, but public, like a
little magazine.
That came out once a week.
Yeah. And so we put the ads in there, quail for sale, and we were selling them for like,
hey, Ellen,
$4 or $5 a piece, I think, back then.
Yeah, they weren't very much.
All of a sudden, we were selling quail.
And they were paying for their own feed.
And we were like, yeah, I can get down with this. And then we ate some. And the girls, well, it was only really Carol at that time. She fell in love with it. We fell in love with it. And so it was a win-win. And so Dylan then said, okay, well, now you got quail.
How about some chickens?
How about some chickens? And so he gave Blaze a dozen chicken eggs. And Blaze, that upright freezer incubator
probably the best.
Was probably the best one we ever had. Now we've got the big Dickies incubator now, but I still believe with all of my heart that incubator that me and my son built had a higher hatch. Right?
I think so, because all 12 quail hatched.
All 12 chickens.
And all 12 chickens hatched. And so from that point, we fumbled through a lot of different things. Yeah. Like, we didn't know anything about chickens taking a dirt bath.
Oh, yeah, that was
One day
scary.
I come home and I'm all excited because we're waiting on bated breath for the egg, right? Yeah. Nobody told us it would take 4 to 5 months for an egg to come out. We didn't know that. So we kept going and checking, like, every day. That was the routine, go to check.
Well, I mean, we learned it once because at that particular point in time, after we had the chickens, we went and bought John Seymour's book. That's when we really started filling up our homesteading library, because, again, YouTube was a baby.
Google was really not that much of a thing.
There was nothing on that. And so we filled up our library, John Seymour's book, A Self-Sufficient Life on How to Live It. Now, there's a huge problem with homesteading books. If they was to do each subject, the amount of attention that it would need, you would have the old 1970s Webster Dictionary that was like,
or an Encyclopedia Britannica's worth of information. That's very true.
You would get the basic information. And then we just had to learn through the School of Hard Knocks the other way.
So anyway, we really didn't know how long exactly it was going to take.
Yeah.
And we also, back then, didn't know the importance of documenting, like, when things hatch. So I had brand new babies. I didn't remember when they hatched.
Yeah.
Like, when did they hatch? So, how long is 4 months, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, we would walk back and forth each day to check these chickens. And one day I came out there and I was in a full-blown panic. I was like, Jason, I don't know what we did. Did we change their feed or something? And he's like, why? I'm like, they're all dead out there. Every single one of the chickens is out there dead. Something got a hold of them. And he's like, why do you think that? And you go out there and there's chickens like their wings are all spread out and they're just like laying there.
They're doing the funky chicken.
And they're like flopping and everything. And I'm like, oh my God. I was freaking out. So I called Dylan and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with these birds. I don't know what I did. He's like, what are they doing? What are they doing? What do they look like? And I told him, and God love him, he just started laughing. He's like, Robin, they're taking a dirt bath. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, if they have any kind of stuff, they'll like get the dirt on them and kind of,
we learned
flap them off.
It helps with the mites and then the parasites and
had no idea
stuff like that. So we learned that year was full of excitement, firsts, drama, a lot of heartache, because at that same point in time my grandfather got really sick, and he lived in Mount Wilson, Virginia. And so we were going up there a lot because my papa was the one who taught me how to hunt, how to trap, how to garden. And so he was pretty much my father figure in my life for the longest time, because I'm adopted. I know who my bio mother is, but I don't know who my bio father is. So my stepdad was also in the Marine Corps, so that's why we say it's 3 generations, because I am Blaze's stepdad also.
Right.
So it's kind of like 3 generations that way. But anyway. And so he was getting sick, so we were taking a lot of trips to Virginia. Well, it was summertime, and at church we were going to have a watermelon social. They were going to have seed spitting contests and everything, and we were so excited because we were like, we'll supply the watermelons. Because
we had a bumper crop of watermelons that year. We must have grown like 20 watermelons. Like, we had so many, and they were very sweet and just beautiful watermelons.
And when we came home from church, there was like 3 watermelons left on the vine.
They were all picked clean.
And I was so mad. And so I put a sign. And this is when I learned that you really don't, if you're going to do something like this sign, you have to be committed, because there's probably somebody out there that's just as committed and just as big of a smart aleck as you are. I put a sign in that garden that said,
2 of these 3 watermelons.
One of these watermelons now has been poisoned. Thank you. And so we let it go for a while, and we started getting more watermelons back on the vine, and everything was flowering, and we were like, okay, we're going to get more. We're going to get more. And then we went out to the garden one day, and there was a second sign now in my garden that said, now there's 2. And so we didn't eat any of those watermelons that year.
We didn't have pigs at the time, so we wouldn't have even given them to the pigs at that point.
But kind of let the watermelons just rot on the vine there. But what set the hook for us was when we went out there that one day. And I don't think I'll ever forget this. We went out there that one day to that chicken coop, and we were feeling defeated because we lost all of our watermelons. Somebody stole all of our watermelons. You know, we were growing great zucchini and squash and tomatoes. And
we were growing, do you remember the zucchini? They were like the size of baseball bats.
Well, a lot of that was because, like I said, we were going back and forth to Virginia, and I had one of my employees come over
to check on
the garden and water it for us. And I told them if, they wanted something, they could have it. Well, of course, they took the tomatoes and stuff like that. I don't think he touched the squash or the zucchini, because when we came back, they were like softball bats.
Well, to be fair, I think they were berry. Like, we started moving leaves, and the next thing we knew, we had all of these zucchini that were just like, I mean, and they weren't woody, they were tender. We learned how to make like zucchini boats that year. Like it was like a yacht.
No, they weren't zucchini boats. They were zucchini yachts.
Yeah,
it was Noah's Ark of the zucchini boat.
And you know, we've never been able to grow them that big since then.
Yeah.
So
and so we we went out there to that chicken coop, and there was one solid white egg in that chicken coop, and
and that's what's so funny. Like now, like I would probably turn my nose up at a white egg, like, you know, because you know, you start to learn about copper Moran eggs and the green eggs and all that other stuff, and so now the idea of just getting as excited as we did over just a plain white egg that you would buy in a grocery, you know, that looks the same as the one I did, like that looks at the grocery store. Imagine if that egg had been green, like we really would have. We
probably would have passed out. Great, now our chickens are bad. They're laying spoiled eggs. But I don't think I'll ever forget it. We went out. I went out there, and that egg was there, and I had this overwhelming feeling of accomplishment.
Hello, Sherry.
And
you went and got it because I was in the house. Mm-hmm. You came in, and you're like, "Look what we got."
Yeah, and Carol was right there beside me, strutting and all happy, and I think it really set the hook that, hey, this dream of being sustainable and self-reliant is possible. Mm-hmm.
I can grow my own food. Like, what?
And so I don't have to be just a vegetarian. Nothing against that. I just love meat. And then you cooked it. And
well.
Did we even eat it, or did you just throw it out?
I feel like we ate it.
Robin cracked it because we like I said, we cooked it, and
I cracked the egg and put it in the pan, and I freaked out. I said, "What is wrong with this egg?" Because again, remember, we're in that defeated mindset, and so I cracked this egg, put it in the pan, and I'm like,
the yolk looked like
it was bright orange
ping pong ball that was just sitting up,
just floating on top of the white. Like a solid golf ball on top of the white. And I was like, what is wrong with this egg? And Jason's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, look at this egg. He's like, baby. And see, fortunately, Jason had seen fresh chicken eggs before. I was about ready to toss it because I thought there was... Because see, again, back then, our food security was the grocery store. We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So our idea of, you know, food security was making sure that you lived close to a Walmart.
Yeah, I don't even think Food Incorporated had come out at that time yet.
I don't think so, not yet.
And if it did, we didn't know anything about it.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I was like, Robin, that probably just fell out the chicken's butt, so it can't get
fairly fresh. Doesn't get any fresher than that.
And so we ate it, and then everybody was absolutely hooked.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was...
Now, we were about 45 minutes to an hour away from our church. Mm-hmm. And we were hardcore praying, you know, God, get us out of the ghetto. Get us to...
Some land where we can do this, right.
Right. And then we got the contract to do nuisance wildlife work at Fort Gordon. Mm-hmm. And our business exploded. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to go land shopping. Mm-hmm. And we ended up buying some land out there by the Flanagans. And it was like 2.5 acres.
It was 2.5 acres with a little trailer on it that we were buying the land, not the... This is a theme that we do. we buy the land, not the house.
And so we moved out there and we started doing it. We got pigs. We got our first cow. We got some rabbits. Mm-hmm. You know, we started really building up. And we had a good potato harvest there. Hello, son. We were just talking about you a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Blazer, that is
our
Blaze.
son.
That's who we were talking about. And then we met some really good people that moved in next door to us. He was in the Army. He was at Fort Gordon. And we're still really good friends to this day. He went back to Illinois after he got out. But we became super good friends with them. We ended up buying their property.
So to combine the two together.
Yeah, so we combined the two together, which gave us about 5 acres. And we helped kick off a little hobby farmers group in Augusta, which turned into an association, we ended up, I ended up being president for a little while. And we ended up coming up to the homestead that we're at now to help somebody process a pig.
Right. They found us on Facebook and YouTube or whatever at that point, because we were doing little YouTube videos here and there, but we were only doing them to kind of help people that might,
you back then YouTube was still a baby. There was no Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. There was nobody doing homesteading videos. I'm willing to bet that we probably put out the very first 2 or 3 homesteading videos out there that, and consistently we're putting out homesteading videos.
That's all our channel ever was.
And so we were just learning as we were doing.
And that family, you said that they came out and checked out our stuff and said, we have 21 acres that we would love to do what you're doing, but on a much bigger scale. Could you come out and visit our homestead and tell us a little bit about it? We came out here, helped them process a pig. They were raising pigs, but had no idea how to butcher one. So. And
I don't think the man ever even cleaned a deer. And so we did that, and then
it was about a year and a half-ish later. Maybe.
Was it really that long?
I feel like it was a while later.
There was some time passed. We can't agree on how long, but some time passed, and he called early one morning and said, "Hey, do you want to buy my farm? I'll tell you what I owe on it." And I'm like, "Well, what do you owe on it?" And he's like, when he told us, and I said, "It's too early in the morning for jokes."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm not joking.
I'm serious.
I'm
we need
serious.
to get out of here and get back into the city."
And I said, "Okay, I'll call you back after the bank opens." And so we made the phone call to the bank, said, we need X amount for what, told them what we were doing with it. And in about an hour and a half, we got pre-approved, and we started the process, and we moved up here to our forever homestead. And we've been building upon it from then on.
Well, now the first 2 years, we kind of had to cool our heels a little bit because we were still going back and forth with getting this place financed. It was very difficult because of the area we're in. So the first 2 years, we kind of pushed the brakes a lot because we didn't want to do too much just in case the owners change their mind. So, and I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that can kind of relate to that. So we say we've been here 7 years, but we've really been working hard at this for about 5.5-ish. Now there was an interesting question up there. Was thinking about adding rabbits to the homestead, but curious why you stopped having rabbits.
Now that question came from Miss Jennifer. I'm not even going to try to butcher your last name, Miss Jennifer. We started with rabbits. We started doing the New Zealand whites and the California whites. And we're in Georgia. Now, down in the Augusta area, it was about 10 to 15 degrees hotter
than it is up here.
Than it does up here in the foothills. And so we just had the hardest time keeping them cool. And they just stressed us out because we put a ceiling fan in the rabbit hutch. We had the frozen tiles, the frozen
Didn't we at
bottles
one
of
point
water.
even have an air conditioning unit in there?
No.
No?
We never put an air conditioning unit in there. We were building a swamp cooler to put in there, but it got so hot so fast we ended up bringing them in the house.
We had a day, it was like 109 degrees or something ridiculous like that, and we had like 9 rabbits, and we brought them all into the house, and we were like, we just can't, until we figure out a better way to do this, we just can't do that.
And so we butchered them all, ate them, and they were so tasty.
And then we tried again up here, but the problem was we were trying to do, at that point we were more familiar with Joel Salatin, and he was raising rabbits on grass, but there was you had to kind of breed it into them that they would be good on grass, and it just never worked for us. So we
failed miserably at trying to put the rabbits on grass and killed a bunch of them. We tried to push the grass thing probably too fast.
I think
too hard, too fast.
There were some things that we weren't, there's some preconceptions because, Jason and I both grew up with Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny was always chowing down on carrots. So that's like a supposition, right? Well, carrots are actually not very good for rabbits. They're supposed to have them like that much. So there were things like that we had not done. And that's one of the things that our journey has been full of, is doing stuff first and then doing the research. And so we've kind of walked that back. We've learned over the years to kind of try and do our research first and then get the animals. And so that's kind of where we're at now. We do want to try and do rabbits again.
Yes.
But we have to do some serious hardcore, like interviewing people that we know that are in similar areas and kind of see what their setups are.
Right now we've been talking with Miss Nunda over there at Bonterre Homestead in Mississippi.
Yeah.
She has rabbits, and so we've been talking to her about her breed that she has, because her breed does do a little bit better in heat. There's no really good breed. All rabbits pretty much just hate heat.
Well, I mean, they have fur. They're wearing a fur coat all the time.
And so we're gonna go down there and visit them, because they're really good friends of ours. And we're going to go down there and visit them and look at her new setup and see how she's got it going.
Hey, Joe.
And we're pretty much going to kind of watch her this summer, see how well she does down there this summer. And if they do very well, we're probably going to get some from her, because she's going to be breeding them.
Yeah, I do believe there are probably some breeds that are better than others to tolerate the heat. We're just not aware of what those are. And to be fair, a lot of times you can Google stuff, but the best information you're going to get is from people that have similar situations to you. So that's one wonderful thing that's really cool about YouTube, is you can find people that are similar in your area wanting to do the same kind of things, and you can kind of hook up with those people and go, okay, tell me how you do it.
Well, look, the gardening zones, in my opinion, is not just for gardening. If you got somebody that's in your same zone, they share some of the same heat tendencies, cold tendencies that you have. So if you can find somebody in your same gardening zone, and then you can ask them about a specific breed or a specific livestock that you want to keep on your farm, and if they've had luck with it, you know,
hey, 2 quacks,
then you stand a better chance of not stumbling across this, like kind of things like what Robin and I did. And Robin keeps saying that that we would get the animal and then do the research, or we'd fail and then do the research. We were also back in that time frame. You have to remember there was no network like we have now. I never would have been able to back in that time. I would have never known who the Hollers or Jess and Jeremiah were.
Yeah, exactly.
To be able to reach out and pull from their experiences. That's one of the things about YouTube and the social media aspect of things that has helped people tremendously. Like we pick people's brains all the time, you know, and it's not just folks that have big, huge channels. We know some people that just consume YouTube, don't produce anything, and I go to him for all my dairy cow questions. But I would have never known about him if I didn't have my YouTube channel,
right? And
met them in person at one of the conferences, or they've been to our place. You know, guys, I'm sorry, I'm kind of like stumbling over my words, and I just have a really bad headache, and it's making it really hard to put my sentences together. But back to the rabbit. So I don't know, Miss Jennifer, what. Wait a minute, right there. I live in Massachusetts.
Yeah. So,
okay. So yeah. Now there was a guy way back in the day, and he was a prepping channel. I think he was up there around y'all in Massachusetts. He was up north somewhere. That he raised. He had a rabbitry in his garage.
Oh yeah, he's how we had designed our.
Yeah, we based a little bit of our design for our hutch off of what he did in his garage.
It helped to be able to harvest the poo, because a lot of people will raise rabbits just for the manure.
Yeah.
And so we kind of built that based off of that. So
Jennifer, if you want to send us an email, I will see if I can find that guy's video, and I'll email you the link.
Yeah, we can do that
for it, because I think he's up there.
I don't know.
Up north somewhere. Now he's one of those huge zombie prepping type guys. You got to take that with a grain of salt. But his rabbitry, because he did a gravity fed watering system with a 5-gallon bucket. You know, he had some pretty good designs there.
Sherry McMillan was talking about rabbits. Said, I've been having problems with hawks. Every time I let them out, they show up.
Now, here's the thing about hawks and any birds of prey. If you have a specific area where you put your rabbits out and you put them out there all the time, get some type of a cover. Whether it's the welded wire, the hurricane fencing, electric wire, whatever, something that could get them tangled up in and stuff. If you don't do that and you just let them kind of free range around, then you would have to practice the 3S method. And that is shoot, shovel, shh. Because most of your raptors are, I think all of them are now, federally protected.
Yeah.
And that means most states go above and beyond the federal guidelines when it comes to fines and jail time and stuff like that. So it's best just to pop it, take it somewhere off of your property in case it has the radio device on it somewhere.
Good night, Jeremy.
And bury it.
Yeah. So.
Because see, here's the thing. Now look, I'm huge into conservation when it comes to wildlife. I don't think you should just go out there for the thrill of the kill. But and this is where the butt comes in. There is no type of birth control for our wildlife out there.
Thanks, Crystal.
And the whole thing about conservation is you have to keep the population of whatever animal, whether it's hawks, deer, rabbits, squirrels, coyotes, whatever. You have to keep it in check. And it has to, and that's tricky to do. That population has to be right there where the animals can thrive and not overpopulate their food or water source. And once that happens, then you have situations to where, like, we lost over 200 chickens over a weekend when we were out of town due to birds of prey around here because of the population boom. Mm-hmm. And they killed themselves over that, trying to get to that. And so, as much as I understand why these birds and stuff are protected, there comes a point in time where you have to practice the 3 S's.
So this is interesting. Two Quacks says, solution for birds that are predators, use anything metallic. When the sunlight hits it, it messes with the bird's vision. That may be true, but it didn't work for us because we actually put, we had some moisture barrier stuff that had a metallic stuff to it, and we actually flipped it out so that was on their chicken tractors, and it didn't stop them. They didn't.
2 Quacks, that's me.
Yeah, that's something different. It's not just the metallic, but that's funny. Joel Salatin knows a guy who's working on what I just said and is in the process of getting it patented. That's you.
Seems like me and Joel need to have a talk. Because his place is where my thing is going to be tested, and he knows another guy that has an eagle problem.
That's funny. That's funny that comes back around like that. He's obviously talking about your stuff. I don't know if you guys know anything about patenting, but it is a nightmare.
It is a huge nightmare, and it takes forever, and it takes lots and lots and lots of money.
Yeah. So.
Lots of money.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the metallic, there's some kind of trick to that. It's not just throw metallic out there. So anyway, so on that, let's see. It's a little over an hour, so we probably need to call it an evening so you can rest your beautimous head. Oh no! Be sure to check inside your hen house at night. We locked in an owl. Oh, I've never even thought to do that. I'm so glad you said something. I've never cleared it before we put them in there.
Well, we always put them in before
dark.
Yeah,
too. I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah. So, anyway.
But yes, that is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm that guy.
That would be me.
That would be this guy.
Yep, that's Joel Salatin knows a guy.
See, that came, and I'll even share the story with that, and then we'll call it a night. The very first Homesteaders of America, Joel came over to our booth. We were doing predator control demonstrations, and he stayed at our booth for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was just question after question after question. He bought a bunch of my traps and stuff like that. And he asked about aerial predators, and I told him what we had out here and how it just worked phenomenally. And he said,
no, you didn't spill the beans. You're good.
You didn't spill any beans. I didn't even know he was talking about it. But we talked about it, and he said, yeah, you need to get that patented, and if you want a testing spot, I'll test it.
And I have more friends.
And I have more friends, and if it works at my place, I'll tell everybody about it, and you won't be able to do YouTube no more. That's how busy you'll be. And so we have been working on the process of getting that thing patented since then. Right. And so it's just a very long process.
Hard process, yeah. So, anyway. All right. Yeah. Another one in the books. Well,
we are so thankful for all y'all that came over from the hollers and Roots and Refuge from when we went down there to get the goats. And our channel has just kind of exploded because of that. And I love the fact that y'all are watching videos and stuff like that. And Robin and I just really, really appreciate that. And we just kind of want to share our lives with y'all and the stuff that we learned through our mistakes, so that way you don't have to make them.
That's exactly right.
And so thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. And like we always say at the end of every
look who showed up. Have a good night with the new girl. That's our breeder, y'all. That's
Miss Lisa.
Miss Lisa.
Miss Lisa owns the parents to Lagatha.
Yep. Yeah. That is so cool. Joel didn't mention any names, but he spoke highly of that individual. That is so awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Thank you, Two Quacks. That's really
that made his day, just in case you didn't catch that. So, at the end of every show, we remind everybody to
plant smiles,
grow giggles,
and harvest the love, baby.
You always get way into that.
Be kind to one another. You don't know what that person is going through, so be kind. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind to each other. Recycle, reuse, repurpose, keep stuff out of the landfills, and we will see you guys next time.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for joining us.
God bless.